Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Girl in Love with Tech podcast. My name is Rachel Rabo. I'm a Microsoft Lens student ambassador, a Power Platform developer, and a Dynamics 365 CRM developer. This podcast is streamed live on Twitter, LinkedIn, and on my YouTube channel. So subscribe, subscribe and follow. And our special guest for today is Natalie, who is absolutely awesome, and she's amazing
Thank
with
you.
BPF,
Thank you.
business process flow. Yeah,
Hey guys, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever anybody is. So I'm Natalie Leenders. I'm from the Netherlands,
yeah,
and I'm a senior Power Platform developer. And I've worked on a Power Platform now for 2 years. So I'm hoping to share some of the knowledge that I've gained. And yeah,
yeah,
I'm just happy to be here. Thank you for having
yeah,
me.
yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for accepting my invitation.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so hi everyone. Okay, so I have a few questions to ask
Mhm.
you, especially being a Power Platform Senior Analyst. I'm very curious about what your role entails,
Yeah.
like your job description. But for our listeners, maybe this is the first time they're hearing about Microsoft Power Platform, or this
Mhm.
is the first time they're listening to this podcast. So, what do you tell them that is Microsoft Power Platform?
So the Power Platform consists of a few different products. So you
Okay.
can create an app, you can do an automation, like automate things that you do in your day-to-day tasks, or
Yeah.
automate having an email sent from that application. You can
Okay.
do a virtual agent, which is a chatbot. So
Yeah.
it's kind of similar to if you want to chat with your bank and you open up a chat, and it's usually
Yeah.
this chatbot. That's a type of thing you can do. Then there's Power BI for reporting,
Yeah.
and there's Power Pages to actually create an external website that external
Sure.
people and clients also get onto. So combining all of those four is the Power Platform. And then there's of course a data backend with Dataverse and connections and
Yeah.
AI Builder and many other things. But the top five of what I do day to day, I don't really do virtual agents that much, but my
Okay.
day to day actually starts. So I'm currently working on 6 different projects for my company,
Wow.
and we do end to end. So
That's
I
amazing.
do well the initial interview with our client, which is internal commerce.
Okay.
That is done by our technical manager or my manager, and they just evaluate with the client what they want. And then
Okay.
from there, I do my meeting with them, and we come up with a design, with a prototype. And
Yeah.
then from there, I start building that out, and that could take days, it could take weeks,
Yeah.
depending on how difficult it is. And then
Yeah.
from there, I tend to do a soft UAT, meaning that I push it out to a test environment, have them test the actual functionality, and
Okay.
we can then make changes whichever they want.
Yeah.
And then we go into an official UAT, which is actually testing with the
Yeah.
company, with the business, with different stakeholders and
Yeah.
everything. And then the application goes into production and hypercare. So hypercare with us is 2 weeks. But
Yeah.
so my day to day is quite different depending on which project I'm working on, and I have full freedom to do whichever project I want at which time, as long as I
Yeah.
meet my
That's amazing.
deadlines. Yes, as long as I meet all of my meetings, my deadlines, my
Yeah.
clients know what's up and what the status is of everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of my day. And then there's of course the team meetings
Yeah.
and learning. Of course,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
always looking at Microsoft Learn or different blogs
Yeah.
or different ways. So for example, I did something yesterday that I didn't even know was possible to
Wow.
from a model driven app, which is like this data driven application, to be
Yeah.
able to push a button and open an Outlook email
Are you
uh,
serious? That's
with
amazing.
information. Yeah, those types of things. I mean, I remember being in a session from Scott Giroux
Yeah.
about 4 months ago at my midnight something, and I'm really surprised that I'm actually remembering anything of it. And he explained on this custom command bar that you're able to do Power FX, which is the language code of the Power Platform. It's kind of
Okay.
Excel's
Yeah,
Excel's
true.
cousin.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And in there you can do custom Power FX code. And I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, what if I just do the launch and the mail too? And then my brain started
Wow.
working, and then I did it, and it worked.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really
Yeah.
amazing. I love the way
So
you
so
explore so much. Yeah.
yeah, so those are kind of my day-to-day things. It just every
Yeah.
day is different because every project can be different and every ask
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think a lot of persons when yeah, you call your role and you say you're a Power Platform Senior Analyst. You're like,
Mhm.
okay, what is the analyst doing there?
Right. Well, it's
Yeah,
kind of, I sometimes call it analyst, I sometimes call it developer, but for me
yeah,
it's kind of the same. I mean, you analyze
yeah,
business processes or you develop a solution. It's kind of both. But yeah,
yeah.
that's
It's
the that's
amazing.
that's the title.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing. I think at first I was thinking it was, I think the first post your first tweet I saw on Twitter was actually on Power BI. So I was
Mhm.
thinking maybe you were doing Power BI. Then later I
I
started seeing
was, I
Power
was,
Apps.
but yeah, no, it is so much more. So when I first applied for this job, so I used to work in IT operations, IT support, change management, all of that
Yeah.
fun stuff. And then when I first applied to this job, I thought it would be Power BI,
Okay.
but it's like 10% is Power BI, 90%
Yeah.
is the rest of the Power Platform. So
Yeah.
it kind of shifted to me doing Power Apps and Power Automates, and that also kind of ties in with what you're saying with my Twitter feed and with LinkedIn and starting my own website and speaking and becoming
It's
an MVP
amazing.
and all
Yeah.
of that.
It's
It's
really, really
every
amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's every time I learn something new, I want to share.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm like, hey, this is awesome. I mean, well, what I just mentioned, that mail to option on a button in a model-driven
Yeah.
app, that is for sure
Amazing.
being, yeah, I mean, that is for sure an upcoming blog post for me in the upcoming few
Yeah.
weeks.
That's really, really amazing. I think I'm still working on the assignments, my assignments, the business process flow assignments. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for jumping on the call with me. Yeah.
Of course, of course. No, it's, I mean, getting started on the Power Platform, the biggest tip I can give anyone is be open to learning new things, because
Yeah,
the
true.
Power Platform and Microsoft is constantly changing and constantly evolving, and there's new technologies coming out, especially now with AI and everything. I mean, you've just seen it on the call, on the
Yeah, it's
community call.
amazing
There's,
on the Power
yeah,
Platform community call. It's really, really
yeah,
amazing.
it's
Like,
Yeah, I mean, when I was at the Power Platform conference last year, I mentioned to somebody like, "Hey, I know a thing or two on Power BI, but ever since I've just been humbled. Like, I do know a thing or two, but there's just so much to learn out there, and so much to know, and so much to
yeah,
grow into,
there is.
that
Yeah,
it's, I mean whenever somebody asks me something, like, I could try and help. It depends on what your
yeah,
question is, but it's just, there's
yeah.
so much information out there, and to
Yes,
learn and to evolve.
yeah, and that is one thing why I love the community, because the community is there to help.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when you have questions, you can ask your questions online. A lot of people are happy to answer your question, and they'll be very patient with you. You don't have to, because yeah, I think when I started asking questions on Twitter, that was last year. There are some questions I will ask. I'll be like, okay, this question looks it looks stupid, but a lot of persons
Oh
answered my
yeah,
question.
no, it's, I mean every question you have is a search for knowledge. So it's never a stupid question, or
Yeah,
there's no
true.
stupid answers. Like,
Yeah,
if you don't know anything, there's always somebody out there that's willing to
yeah.
help you with it. I mean, even if it's the question, what is the Power Platform? That's not a stupid
So
question.
it
No.
is. It's not, yeah. And it's amazing. I love so many people in the community because they're always there to help and they're always there to guide you. Like you're amazing.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, thank you. No, no, no. I mean, it is also with me. I mean, I'm also learning through others, and I've had
yeah,
so many
same.
people help me and guide me and mentor me, that
Yeah.
I just try and do the same for others. I mean, I mean, it's not just me doing it. There's so many other amazing professionals out
Yeah.
there that are willing to share their knowledge for free. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
I've had questions. I've used all of the hashtags. I've had
Yeah.
other people help me out, and it's just been amazing that people are willing to dedicate their own spare time
Yes.
to
Very
help
true.
others.
Yeah, it surprises me most times. I think when I started my journey in Power Platform, I got to know about Power Platform through the bootcamp I attended. And when answering questions, I saw a lot of people answering my questions. I was very new to the community and I did not know a lot of people. So I was like, when they're answering my questions, I'm like, wow, wow, wow. It's nice. It's really, really nice. It's
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So another question I want to ask you is that how did you get to know about Power Platform?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I started out with change management and ITIL and IT operations. So I grew into that by doing the InfoPath and SharePoint Designer, and I did Power BI.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know what the Power Platform was. I mean, I knew it existed, but I didn't know what it was. And then somebody internally from within my company called me like, "Hey, there's a position open with the automation team.
Okay.
Are you interested?" Like, I am, but I don't know what the Power Platform is. So then I applied for the job and I got it. And
Yeah.
then based on my, thank you, based on on my Power BI, SharePoint Designer, InfoPath experience,
Yeah.
they were like, if you know that, I mean, not even that, like anybody can learn it, but it's more
Yeah.
that based on that experience,
Yeah.
we are hiring you and you can learn on the job. So I did.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so in my very first week I met my first client and did a project, uh,
Wow.
be- beginning to end. I mean, it took me 6 months to do something that I would now do in like a week, but
Wow.
but
That's
but
amazing,
but
Natalie.
yeah, no, it's been such a learning curve and such a learning
Yeah.
process, and then started doing all of the Microsoft exams and learning there.
Yeah.
And one tip I do have for anybody starting out and wanting to do Microsoft exams: start
Yeah.
with the fundamentals, start
Yeah.
with the
Sure.
basics.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
did not do that. I went for PL 400, which is the most
Yeah.
difficult exam out there. I
Very,
don't
very
recommend that.
difficult.
Don't do it. No,
Yeah.
it is, I mean, I studied for it for 4 months. I've never studied so hard for anything in my life, and I got it.
Yeah.
But still, I mean,
Yeah.
don't do it.
That's a very, very big achievement. Like being able to just roll into Power Platform and you are going for the hardest exam. When you told
Yes.
me about it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. You understand? I think I last year I got a voucher for Pure 400, which is a Power
Mhm.
Platform developer exam. I failed it because it was so hard. And
Yeah.
then I did not really have much knowledge about Power Platform. So congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's one that I just figured I would give it my all, my full
Yeah,
100%, and I really went into it open-minded, and I consulted with colleagues way more experienced than me, and asked them like, "Hey, I got
yeah,
this practice question wrong. Why?
yeah.
Can you help me? Can you explain it to me?" And I did
That's
all of
amazing.
the all of the courses and all of Microsoft Learn, and
Yeah,
just just soaking in all of the knowledge and doing Microsoft Ignite and Microsoft Build and all of those different sessions. I mean,
yeah.
I did a it was a workshop or session by April Dunham. It was my 2 a.m., but it was on plugins, and it was on like the very thing that PL 400 is about, and I was like, this is important. I must do this.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think there's one thing that people actually fear. They are afraid of asking questions. And it's
Mhm.
very, very important to ask questions. They feel that, okay, this question I'm trying to ask is too simple. Like when I ask this question, people are going to think that I don't know what I'm doing or
Right.
I don't know how to do this particular thing. So I have to keep it to myself. So
Yeah.
it's very,
Well, it's even if you're scared of doing that publicly, you can also reach out to somebody like an MVP or somebody in the community. Just send them a DM and ask the question there. But
Yeah.
any question, as I said, is a search for knowledge, and it should never be
Yeah.
taken as it being stupid or it being silly or whichever.
Yeah, true. Last year, I think there was a time I messaged Mary online. I don't know if you know Mary Myers. I
Hmm.
messaged her online, and I was talking about my journey being so slow that I'm just starting on Power Platform, and I did not know much about how to go about it. And
Hmm.
there's one word she told me that it's I still think about it a lot, and it's a big encouragement to me. She tells me that okay, that she does not know everything, but when she has a question or when she has a difficulty in Power Platform, she knows where to go to ask that question.
Yeah,
You understand?
yeah,
So it's
yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's amazing. So you don't have to. Everybody does not know everything. You understand? And Power
Yeah,
Platform is
and
very big.
yeah, and it's also, I mean, the other way around, that if
Yeah,
somebody asks a question and you think you know the answer, you can always reply. I mean, there's
yeah,
maybe there's another person that knows more about it that will also reply, but
yeah,
if your answer helped somebody, then that's it. Great. I
yeah,
mean, and I am constantly still thinking, like, amongst all of the MVPs, like, am I good enough?
yeah.
Is what I'm sharing good enough?
Yeah.
Can I actually do
Imposter
this? I mean,
syndrome.
yeah, I mean, I've
Yeah.
only been in the Power Platform for 2 years, two and a
Wow,
half
that's
almost.
amazing. Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
it's just being open to learning and sharing, and maybe what you are thinking is the answer could be the answer. I mean, just give it a shot.
Yeah, just try. And I think the best way to learn, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I think the best way to learn is to share your knowledge
Hmm.
of what you know, and also to be able to show others that okay, this is how you can actually do this. Because
Yes.
I think that when you're trying to build a solution and you get stuck and somebody actually helps you, or maybe you later figure out how to actually solve that problem, the
Mhm.
next time when you are trying to build that solution, you are not
Yes.
going to, when you get stuck at that particular point, you are going to know, okay, this is how I solved it. Especially when you blog about it or you do a video about it,
Hmm.
you're going to remember, okay, this is actually how I solved this particular
Yes.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's also the case with, there's so much out there and so much knowledge. I sometimes forget things that I used to be able to do. For
Yeah.
example, I have a blog post on XML mapping, like word
Yeah.
mapping in Microsoft Word, and I did that. I think it was 4 months ago, and I had to redo that last month. And I was like, how did I?
Do it.
How did this work again? So then I just looked up my own blog post to
Yeah.
actually, like, oh, that's how I did it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's there. It's that menu. No,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
It happens a lot. It's amazing. And I love the Power Platform community and I love what they are doing. I love everybody in the community who are sharing their knowledge because there are so many people out there who are trying to come into Power Platform
Mhm.
and they are looking for ways to come into the Power Platform. Yeah, so it's amazing. And I think the
Yeah.
next question I have to ask you is how has the Microsoft Power Platform community affected your career?
So for me, it hasn't changed that much because I'm still working within the same company I have for the past 8 years.
Yeah,
However, it has opened up opportunities within the community, within doing sessions and sharing knowledge,
yeah,
and of course, be, becoming an MVP,
yeah.
which is never like a goal, but thank you. Yeah, no, it's more a great reward for sharing knowledge and doing things out there. But
Yeah,
it's never been like I need to do this. I must become an
yeah,
MVP. But it's
true.
more it has opened up doors, and I'm just hoping that people can actually can see that we as as an MVPs, or even within
Yeah,
the community, that we can help and we want to help and share
yeah,
and be there. I mean, I've been a mentor for somebody for the past I think it's already been a year or something, a
Wow,
year and a
that's
half.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's
and
amazing. Yeah,
he is actually from I can't.
Nigeria.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, so
it is
yeah, no,
about
it's
this. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, no, it's those types of opportunities and going to
yeah,
events and what I love about it the most is just learning new tricks and solving puzzles. Like, hey, how do I do this? Oh, it's that. Oh, it works. Yay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's nothing like when you're building a solution and you get stuck, then later you find out that it's working. It's like big
Oh
celebration.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes it takes me an hour. Sometimes it takes me 3 days.
yeah,
It doesn't matter.
yeah,
It's the whole joy of trying to find out how to do something.
yeah, sure. It's amazing. And I think there's another thing I love about Microsoft Power Platform is that learning never ends. There's so much to
Mhm.
learn every day. Like learning never ends. You have a lot to learn.
Right.
And I think a lot of people that come into Microsoft Power Platform most times they get overwhelmed because they
Hmm.
don't know what particular tool to learn in Microsoft Power Platform because they are seeing Power Pages, Power BI, Power Apps,
It's
Power
so much.
Visualization, and
Definitely.
Power Automate. And they are
Yeah.
trying to learn everything at the same time,
Hmm. No,
especially
I would
yeah,
say start at the beginning. There are Microsoft led or Microsoft partner led workshops
yeah,
like
yeah,
app in a day, dashboard in a day, virtual agent in a day. Those types of workshops are really awesome in just gradually guiding you through what a Power App is, what Power Automate is, what a virtual agent is, and they really start at the beginning. Like
yeah,
go here, open this, click on that. Here, look, it does
yeah.
this thing. And now once we have this, we go to that next bit.
Next step, yeah,
So I mean, sometimes with all of the videos and all of the articles and all of the posts and
yeah,
everything, you just don't know where to start. And these ones I feel are really, really helpful for people
yeah,
just starting out. I did them in my first week and they've really helped me because I
yeah.
had no clue what a Canvas app was or what a gallery was or an edit form or control. Like how? What is it?
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that a lot of people, if you're listening to this podcast and you're a little bit overwhelmed on what to
Mhm.
learn or what particular tool to learn, just take it one step at a time.
Yes.
And there's one thing I believe in is that in any particular tool or platform you are trying to learn, you need to know the basics of
Hmm.
those of that particular platform. Like you
Yes.
need to know what the five tools in Power Platform is used for,
Hmm.
then starts with starts you don't have to be an expert in the five tools in Power Platform.
No, no,
You just
no.
start from somewhere.
Yeah, I've been doing it now, as I said, for 2 years, a bit longer, and I would not consider myself an expert. It's
Yeah,
just because it's so extensive. So just start at the beginning. Just
yeah,
open up Power Apps. Maybe use that function that creates a Canvas app based off of a drawing, or use
yeah.
Copilot, or
And
get the
Copilot is nice too.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
Copilot is amazing. I think I tried it and I got to create an environment and deployed it on the United States and
mhm,
created Copilots. You just have to describe what type of, especially on Power Automate,
yeah,
just have to describe the app you want. Yeah, it's
yeah,
amazing.
and also what's out there is the PMP community, the patterns and practices,
Yeah,
which have samples you can download and you can open it in your own environment and take a look. For
yes,
example, I did a sample on KPI metrics. It's
yeah,
a
that's
really
amazing.
It's a
Yeah,
really, really simple sample on text fields having colors based on conditions. Like if it's
yeah,
lower than 50, make it green. If it's higher
that's
than
really
60,
nice
make it red.
actually. Yeah, that's really,
Yeah,
really nice. I think there was a time I had issue with actually creating something you just meant and creating like a switch between colors. I think there was a time
right.
I had issue like that. Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
really
it's
nice.
I mean also for me. Sometimes there's so many articles and so many formulas and you don't know which one to use where. These types of
Yeah.
samples can really help somebody in showing the actual functionality of it. Like, hey, okay, this is not what I'm looking for, or it is, or
Yeah, you
yeah,
get to
that's
know how it works. Yeah, I think
yeah.
there's also another perfect path to follow too. Is there's templates inside of Power Apps and Power
Hmm.
Automate. You can
Yes.
use those templates. You try to understand, okay, how was this done? What Power FX function was done here? How to do this? How to do that? So it's
Hmm.
amazing. So if you're listening to this podcast, there's a lot out there to help you. The community is ready to help you, and there's so
Yes.
many resources out there that you can start with. Yeah.
Yes, I
So
agree.
yeah. So do you have any advice for anyone listening that is trying to transition into Power Platform, or they are trying to use the Microsoft Power Platform tools in their current role?
Hmm. Sure. So I would say get a free developer environment,
Yeah.
which is this unrestricted environment where you are the
Yeah.
admin, and you can just open up things, play with it, and get to
Sure.
know it. Then
Yeah.
do a app in a day, dashboard in a day, any of those workshops, and
Yeah.
just start at the basic. Look at training videos on LinkedIn Learning or Udemy or YouTube,
Yeah.
and uh,
Because
and and for example, a really great content creator is Shane Young, and
yeah,
Shane
Fion
really
is
really
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he explains every single bit of what he's doing and
Yeah.
why. For me, the most important thing is the why, because
Yeah.
sometimes my mind won't see it. Then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's supposed to do that, but why? How?
How? Yeah. Especially how.
Yeah, yeah, that. And then from there, just open it up and play with it and check it out. And then you can join the com- community calls. You can
Yeah.
uh, look at all of the different sessions out there. Go to local user group events. Get
Yes. Very important.
Yeah, that's it is. I mean, I've seen things being demoed that I'm like, wow, I had no
Yeah.
clue that was possible. Like,
Yeah. See,
how
see,
help me with it.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
the Power Platform community call we just attended was mind blowing. I'm like, wow. And
yeah.
like the one Carrie was presenting, I could not leave the call because I wanted to just see what she's doing. It's like really, really amazing. It's really, really
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are just some tips to be open to learning. That's
Yes.
the biggest one. And don't be afraid to ask questions and reach out.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's a very, very big part too. Don't be afraid to ask questions because a lot of people they're afraid to ask questions. And there's also one thing I like about the Power Platform community. They don't care about your background. They don't care
Right.
about your knowledge on how much knowledge you have. It does not really matter. They just want to be there to help you, to
Hmm.
answer your questions, to see you grow. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's amazing. Yeah. So I don't think we have any questions. I don't think we have any questions. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you very much for listening to us. Natalie is amazing as always. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. And for anybody listening in, if you ever have a question on the Power Platform,
Yeah.
or you want some guidance, don't hesitate to reach out to me or to Rachel
Yeah.
or to anybody else that's out there. And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So you can actually listen to the recording of this podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, on my LinkedIn page, my LinkedIn account, on Twitter, on YouTube, and I think on Instagram too. Yeah. So
That's a
a
lot.
lot of
Yeah.
places. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you and bye everyone. See
Right.
you in the next
Thanks,
podcast.
everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Hi, cats. Bye.